Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. You hear that smooth jazz, you know, it's another Kate Edwards tech video. And what do we have today to be looking at? Well, this is my Acer Veriton. You can see the name Veriton. Acer Veriton 1000. Nice little cute, tiny little thing. This was one of the early attempts at making smaller desktop PCs. It, of course, had Vista. And that's the way it's going to stay. I got a little Wi-Fi dongle. Didn't come with Wi-Fi, but that works. Yeah, so that's the way it's going to stay, Vista. We will get into the Vista of it all. We'll get into the beautiful Vista. All right, so it was manufactured in 2008, according to the info, and it's got a nice little bit of info on the side here, you can see. So yeah, it came with Vista Business, because of course it was aimed at the business world. DDR2, 80 gigabytes of hard drive space on an SSD. I've replaced it. I think. I don't remember what happened. I've had this for a long time. Look at that beefy power supply requirement for this thing. So at first when I got this thing to test it, I was just using any old power supply that fit the plug. And then eventually I finally found one at the thrift store. It's a big one. But it requires like 135 watts, I think it was. So it's, yeah, it definitely needs its power, because it is running a, what does it say here? Does it say, yeah, Intel Core Duo. And it's not the low energy variety. Here's the heat sink, as you can see. And it is quite warm. So I like to run this thing in the winter time, because you need heat in the basement anyway. So it's got two different types of video connectors, you know, the DVI and the VGA type. We got 4 plugs for your USB stuff. You got yourself all kinds of, look at the stereo, like 5.1, or is it? Something like that, 7.1 outputs. Of course, there's the plug for the power, and it could be oriented this way on flat, or of course this one came with a stand, which is great. It's really easy to take apart, but when you actually look inside, you can see why it runs hot, because there's just no space. There's this little bit of a vent here. I don't feel any, I don't feel any airflow coming through it. And then you've got this big heat sink in the back, and I mean, it keeps it, like, I guess sufficient, but really not a great design. It's got a front-loading CD that you slip in. You know, not a terrible looking system, really. And yeah, it's got the 4 USB in the front, and, you know, some audio, and a little bit of you can barely make out that there's airflow that can come through here. But yeah, otherwise it's really not a lot to this thing. Yeah, there you go, Core 2 Duo. And you got your Vista logo there. There you go, guys. That's that. That's the exterior. So it's time to take a look at the details of the system through use of apps. And I don't know, some people like this, some people don't. It helps me to understand what I'm looking at when I'm really looking at a system like this, because from the outside everything looks fine and dandy. But how does it really run? How does it really perform, right? And that was the whole idea behind the old Windows, you know, performance test. Was they tried to give you something to look at before you bought a system. Now, of course, they obscure everything, because why would you want to let the consumer know what they're getting before they buy something, right? So anyway, hey, I hope you're having a great afternoon. It is Thursday. It is Thursday, right? I think it's 3 o'clock. Is it Thursday? It is. It's Thursday. Wow. Time flies when you're having fun. Yeah, so let's get into it, guys. Here we go. So let's take a look at the appointment of the system. So it's running the old Vista Service Pack 2. And I always like to, for fun, I always like to do this. The old Vista. Don't ask me why I did that. I just did it. Work X. Anyway, yeah, that was their trademark. Yeah. Oh, it can actually do that. So that's, you know, a step up in the right direction. It has that kind of graphics capability. Woo! All right. So yeah, here we go. So here's the Intel Core 2 Duo. And yeah, there's the info running at 2.6, 2 gigabytes of RAM, so the same amount that originally shipped with the system. And again, we can look at those scores. So of course, it's going to be the graphics. We know it's going to be the graphics. But we'll see how it does all the same. See if we can get it to beat the last system we looked at, which was just under 300. And it was also a Vista class machine. Here we go here, but it wasn't laptop, so there's, you know, this should have the advantage, I would think, but we'll see. Here's all your drivers. Let's just make sure the display driver is good. Yep, it's got the right display driver and it's registering the old 2 cores. All right, so everything's good there. That out. All right, let's take a look at the specs for this one. It's a Conroe. It's a Conroe. Yes, it's a Conroe. That's an oldie. It's an oldie, but a goodie. Yeah, so it's a Conroe. It's got the big 65 nanometer process, so it's quite kind of a biggie, and it also is generating probably a lot more heat than the newer chips would, of course, each generation. 2 cores, 2 threads. So there you go. We got this type of motherboard. And it has BIOS from 2008, which matches up with what is on the outside of the system. So it's a 2008 system. Here we go, dual channel, running at 400. Let's take a look. This one isn't giving me a whole lot of information. This must be some off-brand stick. Interesting. So this really doesn't, whatever type of RAM they used, didn't provide you with information about year and manufacturer, nothing. Interesting. Okay. But it's DDR2, we know that. 400. There's your chipset, Intel Express chipset graphics, and that's how much graphics it has. We'll switch over here and get a little more detail on it. So what do we got here? GMA 3000 running video, no dedicated, running 64 video, shared up to almost 300, so total of 58 megabytes of video RAM. That isn't great, so that's definitely going to be the weak point. We'll see what it can do, though. You never know. Will it beat the last one? It was like what, 2? What scored to 2? 8? Is it 8 frames per second? Yeah. Anyway, this has got my monitor. I should talk about my monitor here. This is my Samsung monitor. It's got like a touch surface here. It's kind of interesting. So you turn it off, but just by touching it, and a little light comes on. So anyway, it's not a bad little system. It's a Sync Master, excuse me, T220. Look at those fancy, whatever that means, dynamic contrast. Anyway, it's a decent monitor. I got it from the thrift store, of course. Where else would I get it from? And it's running at 1680 by 1050. So there you go. That's what we're dealing with. And let's take a look at, oh no, it isn't. Oh, this is the original. I thought I might have changed it. No, it's an 80 gigabyte hard drive. So it's the original hard drive, just like the exterior said. And it's got just under a year's use. 322, not bad. Lots of life left in it. No, not showing me any errors or anything weird. So that's nice. It's always nice when you don't have warnings. Hitachi drive, they're pretty solid. Got a lot of Hitachi drives over the years and I find they run really well. So here we go, doing nothing. It's at 52 degrees. Yeah, that's crazy. So this is a bit of a little space heater, this thing. And like I said, I'd like to run it in the winter because it's cool in the basement. This is perfect for that. So yeah, here we go. There's your basic info there. Yep, there's your drive. Yep. So it doesn't have obviously a lot of space, but really doesn't matter. When you're dealing with Vista, that's another advantage of putting Vista on this as opposed to something bigger, is an 80 gigabyte hard drive is plenty. I got lots of stuff on here. So there you go. Okay, let's run this thing. Put this Conroe there to the test. All right. All right. Yeah, there we go. Crescendo. All right. And if you're wondering where I get this music from, I just put on Sleepy Time Jazz. I basically do a search, and every time it's a bit different. So yeah, different. Got different songs coming up. Don't know who it is, what it is, or anything else. Okay, so it's already doing, I think, a little better than the last go around. But shader penalty. So yeah, it's not gonna do great. Will it break the 300 though? It should. I hope so. Yep, 350. So it's a bit better than the ThinkPad. So yeah, there you go. That's your score for your RAM, which is yeah, good score for the CPU. 2. Okay, so the last one was 3. This one is, sorry, it was 2. This one is 3. So very anemic for graphics. There's no way, looking at this thing, you're putting a graphics card in this. So it is what it is, guys. So if you are a gamer, this is not your little cup of tea here. And yeah, there you go, your transfer rates and stuff. So there you go, guys. So not terrible, right? Not a terrible score. Decent enough. And of course, I've got my low profile keyboard going here, and I brought in a no-name mouse that, yeah, looks good. It's a Freewolf. Yeah, Freewolf. I love these Asian names. Anyway, there you go, Freewolf. Optical gaming with metal on the bottom. It's got some weight to it, at least. The other mouse I was using with my laptop, you can just like, there's no weight to it, so it just doesn't stay put. So at least this thing has some weight. If you like a weighted mouse. It's got silent click too. Listen to this. Can you even hear? Oops! I just clicked on something here. Nothing. Pretty good, right? Anyway, let's close this out. Close unsaved results. Yes. Okay, there you go. So there it is, guys. The old power cycle of this unit here. Maybe let's see if I can get a better thumbnail. Let's get a thumbnail here. Let's get a thumbnail for this thing. I think that's pretty good. That's gonna be it, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.